All right, sitting with me today is my father, Dr. Brian Benfield. He was the founder of Clientele Life, who was, of course, also involved in the formation of the Clientele's IFA. He's also the founder of Prime Meridian Direct and its network marketing division, Prime Meridian Enterprises. So Dr. Benfield's had a lot of experience in network marketing and direct selling, even beyond what I've just mentioned to you today. He's going to help me answer the questions I know that burn in your head as you hear about the DuePoint system and opportunity. So the number one question, is this a pyramid scheme?
Yes, well, I'm not surprised that people ask this question frequently, Brennan. It was the same around the world. We had the same questions in Europe, Australia, England, and it arises from the fact that people know little about either network marketing or illegal Ponzi's. If you make a careful study of each, you will understand that they are completely different things. A lot like E.T. arriving on Earth, phoning home and saying, well, here I have juxtaposed a wooden ox wagon standing next to a modern Ferrari, and I can describe them as both having four wheels and both being used for transport. The person on the other side would naturally say, well, then they must be the same, and we know that that's ludicrous. And once you've made a study of either, you know how different they are. But people don't have the time to make those changes to those studies, and therefore they need to have a quick sniff test or dipstick test on to test whether something is a pyramid, an illegal pyramid, or just a normal legitimate network marketing operation. The first of many questions, first of 5 or 6 test questions might be, well, does this require a lump sum investment, a large lump sum investment? And will I lose any money if I don't bring others in with that large lump sum as well? If the answer is yes, you will lose money, well then the chances are you have an illegal pyramid scheme. Everything, by the way, is in the shape of a triangle or a pyramid. The South African government is in the form of a pyramid, the South African Defence Force, every organisation you work for, there's usually 1 or 2 chaps at the top and everything forms a pyramid underneath. So if you want to, you can draw out any structure, any organisation as a pyramid. Ours, in fact, is nothing like a pyramid in reality. Usually, if you draw out the DuePoint organization and the way it develops, you'll find it's a fractal.
It's very organic.
Turns into what looks like a magnified snowflake rather than any triangle, but it can be drawn in a triangle if you want to. So the first thing is, does it require a large lump sum investment, and can I lose any money? The second thing is, does it have any products? If it does have a product, well, of course, if it doesn't have a product, you should worry. But if it does have a product, are the products priced sensibly, like they would be if I bought them anywhere else in the market? And in the case of DuePoint, of course, buying products not only at market-related prices, often at lower than market-related prices. So can I lose any money? No, because whatever I've paid, I've received value for, full value for. Yeah. And then, of course, the other thing is this company a registered company? Where's it registered? How's it registered? In the case of DuePoint, well, we're a division of Constantia. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa, short-term and life. And one may also ask, well, what about the other organizations? DuePoint is a member of the South African Direct Marketing Association and also the South African Direct Selling Association. Registered long-term members. So we're well known. And then, of course, can I get hold of the chief executive? Does he have a place of business? Where is his office? Is he available on the telephone? Is it difficult to get hold of him? Do they have secretive operations that they can't actually tell me how they work? These are all the tests for what is legitimate and what is not. People can be quite assured that when they're working with DuePoint, they're working with a company that is fully registered in every way, 100% legitimate, and like all the other members of the Direct Selling Association of South Africa, Amway, Golden Products, Averroes Lane, Tupperware, Herbalife, these are all legitimate network marketing operations, just as DuePoint is. So that's the sniff test, easily done, and quickly put minds at rest.
You either pass it or you fail it, and you can do it in a few seconds.
Yeah. What I often have had over the years is people saying to me, but I don't have the time to do this.
Yeah, most people have a full-time job. And a full-time job these days is not 40 hours a week, it's 60 hours a week. And we appreciate that. I mean, we all here at DuePoint, we have 60-hour-a-week plus jobs. You'll see us here on a Saturday morning, you'll see us here on public holidays. We know what it's like to not have any time. And then you've got to get home and look after your family and etc., etc., etc. This I appreciate. It's very much taken into account in the formation of the DuePoint system and opportunity. We know this is the problem, so we've built it into the DuePoint system. What most people don't realize is that freedom, financial freedom and time freedom comes from the leveraging of others. You are currently being leveraged by the boss you work for. In the company that you work for, there is a guy at the top who's brought 100, maybe 200 people into his business to create profit for him through their time and skills. That's him leveraging you. He could not do as much as he does without you as an individual. Now you have the opportunity with the DuePoint system to leverage as well. You get to leverage tens, hundreds, maybe thousands of people who have 10, 15 minutes a week, maybe an hour a week, to produce an income, to build a channel of distribution for you with the DuePoint system.
I would add to that, Brendan, that the reality is we all waste time.
Yeah.
We all have a few hours a month that we could afford to do anything.
Absolutely.
So we watch
TV. And
that's right. We
lie
watch
on the
a
couch.
little bit too much television. And if we want to get something else done, we can. And as I think the point has been made before, you can, by spending a little extra time doing something that will produce a result for you, you in the end buy back your own time. By contributing that little extra time to a business that creates income for you, in the long run, when everybody else really is going to be worrying about the business for you, when you have an organization like DuePoint in the background doing all the admin, collecting all the payments, making all the services available, all you have to do is spend a couple of hours a month, sometimes even just an hour a month, introducing the idea to others, and before you know it, within a relatively short period, you find you've got an income coming in, and that begins to grow with time. So everybody's got a little time to spend on something like this, and it doesn't absorb a lot of time. Of course, it can absorb a lot of time if you wish it
serious about it.
But everybody's got a little time to spend on something like this.
And one of our very successful wealth engineers, Donnie, has this wonderful line. He says, I often speak to people who don't have extra time for extra money. They don't have time for any extra money in their lives.
Quite right. What I've often found is people say, but network marketing is so embarrassing. I'm too embarrassed to talk to my friends about it. The Brits are particularly big on this. They feel embarrassed whenever they make these sort of suggestions to their friends. Well, why is it embarrassing to talk about a legitimate business that will bring you extra income, that could actually save you a lot of embarrassment in the long run? It's embarrassing when you lose your job. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a second string of income to support you while you're getting another one?
Absolutely.
And wouldn't it be embarrassing isn't it embarrassing when a loved one comes to you and says, Dad or Mom, won't you pay for my overseas trip with the school class, or even just across the country, or I need a pair of new rugby boots? It's embarrassing when you say, I'm sorry, I can't buy them from you. It's a lot more embarrassing than simply saying to a friend, come along with me, I'd like you to see something that could be really valuable to you.
And I mean, everything we've done at DuePoint is to be remarkable. I mean, when you bring people to DuePoint, there is nothing here to be embarrassed about. But I love it. I've mentioned it before. When you talk to someone between the age of 20 to 30, we remember they're invincible. The future is bright for them. And you say, hey, come bring your friends to DuePoint. See the opportunity we have available for you as a young person with many years ahead of you. And they go, I'm sorry, if this is one of those Amway things, I'm not coming. And if I get that message, I'll be so embarrassed. My reputation would be so badly damaged that I'm not willing to risk it versus risking the next 50 or 60 years of financial crisis in my life. It's always laughable to me that people are so afraid of network marketing, and yet it is such a powerful stigma. It's something, I had one of our other network marketers say to me, the thing you've got to do is you've got to get over yourself. You've got to get over the stigma that exists actually only in you, because when you look at DuePoint, There is nothing to be embarrassed about.
That's exactly right. You know, if you wanted somebody to join your sporting club with you,
Yes.
you'd say, come and join my club.
Yeah, wouldn't be embarrassed about it.
No, exactly. And the same would apply to DuePoint. Come and see my business club. Come and meet the people. Come and understand what we're doing. Understand how we can make the extra income that we do that avoids embarrassment.
Yeah.
We'll never embarrass you at DuePoint.
Yeah.
DuePoint will never embarrass anybody. Bring them in, show them the operation, they can be assured that DuePoint itself will never embarrass them.
Absolutely. And so there's nothing. No matter what age you are, no matter what job you do, what title you have, your reputation will not be damaged by coming to DuePoint, by inviting people to DuePoint. One of my favorite questions that I get from a lot of people, and I always say that it's the number one fear of the average person. You know, that number one was always death and then public speaking.
Yes.
Well, they lied. The number one is selling. People would rather die or public speak than sell. And people say to me at DuePoint, well, this is all great, but I can't sell. I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't sell.
Well, isn't that amazing? Well, first of all, we say in writing to you at DuePoint, you may not sell.
Yes, officially.
Officially, legally, contractually, bindingly, you may not sell. We do the selling for you. The website will do the selling. All you do is introduce people. And again, you won't be embarrassed when you bring them to the website. Let them read the website. You can answer questions for them. You need do no selling.
That's right.
In fact, the best salesmen very rarely do any obvious selling.
That's right, yes.
They ask questions, they answer questions. But they're not salespeople, actually. They're just legitimately introducing people to what they're interested in. For example, if you've seen a good movie and you enthusiastically tell your friend about a good movie, you're selling the movie. He says, well, I want to go and see that too.
That's right.
But you're not selling. You're just simply explaining to him something that you believe in and you've enjoyed.
And have some passion about. Our most successful wealth engineers spend very little time selling DuePoint. They pour their passion out to individuals. And I mean, if we were to be honest, what are you selling? You're selling an invitation to DuePoint when you talk to someone else. You are not selling our products. You are not a registered representative. You're not a broker. You're not a salesperson or even a marketer of DuePoint. You're a wealth engineer who sells the invitation to others to come to DuePoint to find freedom. Whether you use our online tools or you watch us live, we do the work. We do the selling for you.
You know, when I came into the insurance industry over 40 years ago now, somebody said to me, show me a man who can honestly tell his story 2 or 3 times a day. Just honestly tell his story 2 or 3 times a day, and I'll show you a man who cannot help being a success.
Salesperson, that's right.
And need not be a salesperson,
Yeah.
just honestly tell your story.
And
You
you'll
get
be
better
success.
with time in telling your story, but selling is just telling people
Yeah.
about what you feel strongly about.
Yeah.
Very
And
easy
what
to
you're
do.
changing your life with.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on the odd occasion, I get asked the question, well, maybe not asked the question, but it's posed to me that our products are not sufficiently competitive or priced incorrectly.
Well, I
you-
challenge anybody.
yeah,
bringing
you've been
it
doing this
to-
for 45 years.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been my field. I did a PhD in the subject. I've been teaching it at WITS for 25 years as a professor of insurance and risk management. Be assured, there are very few products that are more competitive than ours.
Than what we've
And
created.
we never launch a product without doing full research as to what's offered elsewhere in the market. And in the case of DuePoint, we've got 3 products that are leading the market. So, without going into detail, we can spend a lot of time on the detail, but anybody looking at our products carefully would realize that not only are the products very, very competitively priced, the benefits are unique in many cases and so much easier to acquire
Yes.
than anywhere else.
Yes.
So simple and easy to acquire. Limited questions, ease of acquisition. I can't begin to tell you in a few short minutes as to how competitive these products are.
Yes.
And that's one of the great indicators of the legitimacy of our business, because the products are priced so reasonably that the rest of the market under normal circumstances wouldn't be able to beat
Battles
those
to
prices.
compete with
Battles
us.
to compete. And not only that, they almost contribute to the whole well-being of DuePoint, because the products standalone are great, but a spin-off of those products is participation in the DuePoint plan.
That's right.
For
System.
earning extra
Yeah.
earning extra income. So anybody who says that the products are not competitive haven't done their homework.
Properly, that's right. I mean, our products are probably one of the things we're the most proud of.
Correct.
At DuePoint. We've designed them in a way that they too contribute to the solution of financial and time freedom, generating assets for individuals.
Exactly. We will be perfectly proud for people to hold those products and do nothing more.
That's right.
Than be product owners.
And have the incredible benefits just of the products alone. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the common questions I get, and one that is almost always laced with the frustration of the person asking the question, is, well, I've seen lots of these things come and go. How do I know that DuePoint will actually stand the test of time? You want me to put time into this? How do I know you'll stand the test of time?
Well, there's several tests that one can apply, of course. The registered company issue is one of them. Those companies that are members of the South African Direct Marketing Association and the Direct Selling Association, you will find that they've been around a long time. Havrish Lane, Riva Foreman, Tupperware, you name them, they've been around a long time. Herbalife, Sportjon, they've all been around a long time. It may be that there are little chaps that start up here and there, but then you should avoid those. Go into the organisation, as we mentioned earlier. Look at their offices, see what sort of investment has been made in the offices, see what sort of investments have been made in their system. The worst case, of course, is, okay, let's say DuePoint is one of those that comes and goes. I certainly hope not, because we've put millions into the structure here and into setting up what we consider to be the Rolls-Royce of network marketing operations in South Africa, even better than some of the better known ones. But what's the worst case, Brennan, that can happen? You'll earn some income over time, you'll enjoy the benefits of some products over time, and you may feel you put a little bit of time into it, but that's the worst that you can lose. We're the ones who will lose the most. We've got all this infrastructure, all this effort, all this investment that we've put into it. We're the ones who will lose the most.
Absolutely.
So the odds of our going out of business are much smaller than most. We're the ones who would lose the most, and you, as a member of DuePoint, would gain. You could not have lost it.
From our loss.
That's the worst case.
Yes, yeah.
Brennan, one of the questions that I've had in this business over the years is, now this network marketing business is for the desperate, for the destitute, for the poor, those who have nothing else to do.
Yes.
I know when I was growing up, my dad said to me, if you get a good education, you won't have to be a second-hand car salesman or an insurance salesman. My brother became the second-hand car salesman, and I was the insurance salesman. I'm still an insurance salesman.
Yeah.
But of course, none of that is true. It's certainly not for the desperate or the poor or people who... This is very similar to the question of this is too embarrassing. I don't want to talk about network marketing. It has to do with one's perception of one's own worth. One might say, well, I'm above this sort of thing.
That's right.
Well, you know, if you talk to a fellow like Warren Buffett, who's one of the most successful investment managers in the world, he would have said to anyone, never rely on a single source of income. So you may feel yourself too superior to have a second source of income, but I don't know many people who would be too superior to have a second source of income.
That's right.
Spend a little time and develop a second source of income. Very soon, having been around it for a while, you will know that some of the most successful people in the world, prior to becoming network marketers, have become very successful in network marketing, developing a second or a third source of income. So it's certainly not for the desperate. I don't know if you've had this question too.
Well, I have. And I mean, the question I pose to myself when people ask me this question is, well, I'm relatively young. Why on earth would I be committing myself to a career in network marketing? I mean, I'm obviously desperate and poor then, you know, because otherwise I would be doing something legitimate, like a bookkeeping job, you know, but because I'm qualified to do that, of course. The thing is, when people begin to understand the incredible power of network marketing for financial and time and psychological freedom, you realize the level of sophistication you can create with direct selling and network marketing. And of course, DuePoint has embraced that 21st century technology, 21st century system that allows us to invite into the system people of every stature, level and title in South Africa. It just fills me with passion and power to know that I can go out there and change the lives of everybody with this tool. It is not for the desperate and for the poor. It's for those who are empowered and passion-driven. That's what this is for.
It's for those who are ambitious those who have a goal,
entrepreneurial,
those who are determined and resolute, not for the poor and the unsuccessful. Those are the ones who seldom make a success of our business.
Yeah. All right, so now we get one that I feel is generally a weak question, but it comes up amazingly often, is that I don't know enough people. I've asked everybody I know. Where do we find these people? Where do we find them?
It's remarkable. Make a list of the people you know that you deal with every day. For example, the person you meet first when you walk into the office, wherever you work in the morning. Do you go to church? If so, make a list of the people you can think of at the church, starting perhaps with the parish priest. Make a list of the people you meet at your sports club or the gym. You're always associating your children's friends' parents. When you start making the list, you'll be staggered as to how many people you do know. And nobody else knows more people than you do on average. There are very few people who could make a list longer than yours, if you're the average person.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do, is start there. They in turn will lead you to others.
That's right.
And that's
you leverage the others again.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct. So you could start. I mean, I know of people who've come to this country as immigrants, knowing nobody, and being very successful.
Yes.
True in America, true in South Africa, true in Australia.
Yeah.
Immigrants arriving, going straight into network marketing, knowing nobody.
That's right.
Starting only with a handful.
On the street corner.
That's right.
Working their way from that point.
Well, not even necessarily doing that, but you're right, that's quite possible.
Well, meeting the guy on the street corner, I've heard literally of stories of the guy arriving, meeting the guy on the corner street, that's his first prospect. And from there he leverages that individual's list, and he leverages that person's list, and so on and so on. The people are there. What's lacking in that question often is the willingness to put the effort in.
That's always the case.
And it's effort.
Everybody knows enough people to make a success of network marketing. The question to ask always, when you start your question to others, is who do you know, rather than do you know?
Yes.
So you say, who do you know who is really successful, presentable, wants to get ahead, I'd like to meet
them. That's
Don't
right.
say, do you know anybody who's presentable, wants to get ahead, because the answer is usually no, not really. But if you make it a challenge, who do you know, very soon they will come up with those names. And you're away. You really don't need to know lots of people to make a success of this business.
Yeah, no, that is a real gem. If anything, that was the gem right there.
Brendan, I have had people who've become hugely successful start their career in network marketing by saying, I don't think I can succeed at this. Really, I don't think I've got what it takes to succeed at this.
I'm not the right personality. I get it all the time. I'm not the right person. It's not for me. It's not for me. That boils down to a core emotion. And the core emotion is often that they're a little bit afraid. This is something completely new. It's not what their parents taught them. It's not what their education taught them. This is too outside the box. And they're very worried that they don't know what to do or where to start with it. Well, we know that. We understand that. When we designed the DuePoint system, we put that core issue into everything that we did. We created our XP Rewards program that trained you step by step from the beginning through to expert. And of course, we've placed around you the facilities of DuePoint and the people, free of charge to you anytime.
A very
available to
forgiving
help
system,
you.
actually.
Exactly.
As you make mistakes, you learn.
You can't fail. There isn't actually a fail, there's only a pass.
That's right. Well, I guess the question to ask, if it's not this, then what?
Then what? Yeah.
If you want to go ahead in life and earn an income and develop a lifetime passive income, if not this,
then
what?
When we designed DuePoint right from the beginning, I said to Rob, Rob, we want to build this for my peer level. Everyone at my peer level, so that everybody above and below would do DuePoint. But it's my peer level that fight me so when I come here. They ask the question, or they tell me, I've got a fantastic job. I'm a manager, I'm an executive, I've got a great degree. Why would I want to do this? And so I've got to ask you the question. You've had a great career.
I'm 67 years old, and I can tell you the whole time that I've been in business, which is well over 40 years, rapidly approaching 50, I'm almost ashamed to say, I can tell you that in today's world, there is more and more evidence of the fact that if you're under 50 now, you will not be doing the same job at the age of 60 as you're doing now. The world is more uncertain than it's ever been. Cyril Northcote Parkinson, who was a professor in the United Kingdom, many years ago had many clever Parkinson's laws, one of which was work expands to fill the time allocated to it. We were speaking earlier about I don't have the time. Well, it's interesting. Work always expands to fill the time allocated to it. Another thing he said was expenses rise to meet income. And while you have a salary, your expenses rise to meet your income all the time. It's just amazing how you're at the end of every month, you very soon find, even after you've had a big salary increase, that your expenses have risen to meet your income. So you may be certain that the odds are definitely so that you're either going to not earn sufficient for your needs, or you're going to be retrenched, or you're going to be fired, or you're going to find that that promotion that you thought you were going to get doesn't come. So how are you going to get ahead? How are you going to enjoy that yacht in the Mediterranean? Well, as I said earlier, if not this, then what? This is an opportunity that is second to none. It doesn't detract from what you're already doing. If anything, it will probably help your current career.
And that's what we say. We never tell anybody who comes to DuePoint and becomes a wealth engineer, quit your job, you're now a wealth engineer. That's never what we do. We say enhance your entire life by becoming a wealth engineer at DuePoint. Start adding to what you've already got.
And you know, as we've said so many times before, when you start to develop your own business through an organization such as DuePoint, you start finding you're contributing to society in many ways. You're helping other people. You find you make more friends.
Yes.
You see each other more frequently. You get to know what's going on in the community. Generally, it enhances your entire life whilst you're enhancing the lives of others.
Absolutely. Network marketing speaks to the human condition. It's not only creating income, but it is creating community for you. The people that you bring into your channel become lifelong friends because you have common objectives. You have common themes in your lives, and you both enjoy the rewards and the hardships together. It's hard to find bonds like that in the employment place where the guy sitting next to you is your competition, not a cooperative member of your team.
And Brendan, don't forget that through all of this, you're developing a lifetime income that not only lasts for your entire life, but goes on into your estate and will go on supporting people after you.
Will your career do that?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're the CEO of the biggest company in South Africa, when you die, does your family continue to get that salary every month? They don't do it. They don't do it. And so we love DuePoint. We love what we've done here. The passion for us is more than just network marketing. It's about the changing of the society that we live in here in South Africa. And you become an instrument
and in fact,
in that as a wealth engineer.
We actually hope that you have a great career and a good job right now.
Yes.
We're not looking for people who don't have good jobs and good careers right now with great prospects. Those are the sort of people we're looking for at DuePoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dr. Benfield, thank you very much for joining me today and for being with us this evening. If you've got any questions for Dr. Benfield, ask him this evening.